But if you want to create a new project, you choose the target. And so basically this program does allow you to actually code for an existing robot. You can use the VEX V5 and then upload your code to your robot. What we're going to be doing is using the V5 Mimic, which allows you to upload the code to a simulated robot instead. So that's what we'll do. We click that as our target. Then we have to choose a language, and actually you can code in C++, Python, Blocky, or even JavaScript, or what's called Controller Express, which is just like the basic code that comes with your controller. If you choose Blocky, which I will do, you can actually switch back and forth between Blocky and Python. It'll actually show you what the generated Python code is, but unfortunately I don't think it shows you what the C++ code would be. That's fine, but if you have a background with using C++, you can also use that. If you're new, I would recommend starting with Blocky, because then you don't have to have any sort of prior knowledge with programming. New project name, always good to give it a name, so we'll call it like sample mimic, and then we create. The reason, if you don't give it a name, it'll just be a random name, and then it'll be hard to tell. When you have a bunch of them, it'll be really hard to tell which is which. So I highly recommend that you give it a very good name, and then you can also rename it later as you change it. So by default, it opens in the Blocky window, but if you want to start building a mimic, you have to switch to the mimic window. And when in the mimic window, by default, there's basically nothing. And so let's actually add something in so we can get a sense of things. Let's go to miscellaneous, and let's go to the base plate, because it doesn't take up a lot of space. You click it, and then it automatically adds it in. And let's just click away, so left click to deselect. And now I have a base plate. And how do we navigate? So similar to things like SketchUp, you can zoom in and out if you have a 3-button mouse. Or I'm not sure, you might be able to pinch if you're using a Mac to zoom in and out. Then if you left click, you can spin around the object or underneath. And if you right click, you can pan. So go left and right, up or down. So that allows you to actually navigate. So if I wanted to go over here and focus in on this corner, I can kind of do that pretty easily. By just right-clicking, middle mouse clicking, or middle mouse scroll wheeling, and left clicking. So I would suggest that you take a second to get familiar with how to navigate, and so pause the video and then continue when you're ready. All right. So next, let's see how this physics works. So now that we have a platform, the platform by default is locked. It won't fall. But other objects will. They'll actually fall onto it. So if you click anywhere on the platform and choose Game Cube, it's going to create a cube in the middle, and that's not going to work for us. We need to lift it up, so let's switch to the Move tool, which is translation. Then you can lift it up, and then click away. You can also change the color of the cube, but for now, let's just keep it red. And then let's actually lift it up higher. And then let's test the simulation. So press Run. And there, it fell. Now there's a bit of a lag, but now it's on the ground. Let's see if it works better if we run it again. There, now we saw it fall nicely. Sometimes it takes a second to calculate. So if I left click to select the cube, I should now be able to switch to my rotate tool, and then I can change the angle, and then press run again to see how it changes. So yeah, it should fall and fall. That means that physics is working fine, and we can start building.